Okay, check, check. Good? All right, we're good. Hey, what's up, everybody? So, as promised, we are going to be doing a continuation of last week's conversation. Last week, just a reminder, I got a little visual coming up here, but we talked about playing augmented triads over the 5/7 chord, meaning the sound of an augmented triad over a 5/7 chord, over a dominant chord, any dominant chord, doesn't even have to be in a 2/5. Hey Tracy, how you doing? What are you shedding these days? Yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys are all shedding. So if you ever want to leave a comment or, talk about what you're shedding, and like these are super informal live streams. So I'd love to, you know, chat with you all and get to know you better if that's a possibility. Um, so anyway, so about the augmented sound. So we talked about the G augmented over G7 last week, and I'm gonna grab my visual here. And as you can see, oh, that's cool. Very cool. Tracy said if you're watching this on replay, I don't know if you can see the comments, but he's working on my 2.5 book, which is really cool. Thank you. That 2.5 book is a donation-based book. If you can't afford it, please feel free to download it for free. And if you can, whatever you donate goes towards all of this stuff, which is oh yes. Yeah, upper structures. That's it. Reggie Padilla in the house. My man. Oh my gosh. So good to see you, pal. So yeah, we're doing upper structures today. Reggie called it. So last week we did this one right here, this G augmented. The little plus sign is the augmented sign, and we played, it plays the root, it plays the third, and it plays the flat 13. But if we play F augmented, right there, we get some upper structures, like Reggie just said. Little spoiler alert, Reg. So we got the F, A, and C sharp. So that's in over G7. That is, oh, that's so cool. Reggie's playing a gig right now at the Blue Note Waikiki. Reggie and I are buddies, but way back when I lived in Hawaii, one of my best buds, and absolutely fantastic saxophone player. I have a little feature coming out with Reg that I'm working on. I apologize, it's not out yet, Reg, but I promise it's coming. It's on the way. It's in the works. I just crazy busy. So we're going to play upper structure. So last week we did this one. This week we're going to talk about this one, and we're going to take the same approach we did last week. We're going to play the augmented triad, hear how it sounds, and we're going to work it into resolving it to G7 is going to resolve to C major. We're going to resolve it into that. And then we're going to talk about how to lead into the augmented triad itself in order to hear that sound, and how like a line can be constructed, and how you can start building your bebop vocabulary that way. So this is like you're saying, this is upper structures. This may be a little bit more difficult to hear, and it might sound like it's resolving somewhere else, which it could be, because this can also work over F7. So you might feel like, oh, I need to be resolving to B flat. So just keep in mind, we're resolving to C still, but we're using this. And a little side note between these two here, this might be like a little bit of a Barry Harris thought or meta thing. I'm sure Barry Harris has talked about this, but the cool thing about this is you combine these two things and you actually get a whole tone scale. So it's pretty cool. I'm going to show you something at the end about the whole tone, and maybe messing with these two triads and making triad pairs out of it. And we'll talk about that at the end. But anyways, so think about that. Think about like the relationship. We are building off of the root on this one. We are building off of the flat 7 on this one, and giving us a lot of different colors. So let's jump into it. Since this is live, I am going to drink some water before we start, so my voice doesn't go. All right, so let's do it. So I'm going to play in tenor key. I'm playing F augmented triad. So here's what it sounds like. So let me play the G augmented triad. That's G there. Now I'm going to play F. So really, really nice sound. Remember, we're stacking major thirds there. So we got F, to A, and then A to C sharp. So we got those stacking thirds. But now we're using like I said, the upper structure. So first, let's play the triad again, and from each note, and see how it resolves to C, because we're resolving to C. So we're thinking in our minds right now. We're thinking G7, and we're resolving to C major. That visualization up here is really, really important for you to kind of understand what's happening in your ears and in your hands, and then connecting it so you're resolving to the right place that you want to resolve to. And practicing slowly. So we're going to do this slow. So I'm going to start on F, and I'm going to go up. So I'm going to go F, A, C sharp to F, and then I'm going to resolve to C major. You'll hear C major. I'm going to try to resolve it so you hear C major properly. So yeah, so here we go. So I'm going to play F augmented. So here we go. So that's F augmented, and I'm going to resolve it now to C major. I'll try to make the resolution very clear. So all I played was the triad with the octave up top, and then I just resolved it very simply to the major, and I ended on the root of the major to try to make it really obvious. So I'll play it again. Okay, so that's F augmented from F. Now let's resolve it from A. So now we're playing A, C sharp, F, and then A up top, and then we'll resolve it from there. Similar ending, just different chord tones. I'll play it again. All right, and you can mess around with the different resolutions. I'm just trying to make it as obvious as possible. So now, starting from the C sharp, and remember, this one is the sharp 11 of G7. So this one might be the most funky of them all, but you'll see here in a second that you all you need to do is resolve a half step, and you're going to the root of the chord of the one chord. So that was just a triad down, just to make it really, really obvious. And if you want to kind of make it more of a bebop kind of thing, or a type of line that you might want to like play musically, it might sound something like this. So I just played a triad down and then did, a leading tone back to the one. Something super simple. I like that, like ending stuff like that. I think it sounds really pretty. That was just 1, 5, 4, 3. Right. So okay, so now we have the triad. Okay, and I said this last week. I left the link below to last week. I dived a little bit deeper into how to shed these, but be sure you can play it from every inversion. And remember, this is not only F augmented, it's also A augmented and C sharp or D flat augmented. So these work for all of the above. This not only, I mean, these have plenty of chords that they work over. They work over G7. These will work over F7. They'll work over B7. I mean, it's crazy how many this will work over. It'll work over just about almost every dominant chord. But for these specific sounds that we're talking about today, we're talking about the flat 7, the 9, and the sharp 11. This is the sound we're going for. And like I said, it might take a minute for your ears to adjust because we are working on upper structures that are resolving into the major chord. So now we're going to do a same thing we did last week, where we're going to do an enclosure into the augmented triad and then resolve it. And we'll start with the F. So I'm going to do an enclosure into the F, and I'll do a four, what is it, 4-note enclosure. Right, so that 4-note enclosure. Right, right? So if I'm playing like a line, that's a 2/5 right there. 1, 2, 3. Right? That's just a line I just made up literally just now. So in enclosure, we got the augmented triad we're talking about, playing that upper structure, and we're resolving to the major one chord. Um, okay, and then we're gonna do the same thing, but now we're gonna play it from the A. And remember this, I'm doing some ascending stuff. You can do descending. You know, like that was just a really quick lame ending, but remember, you can go up and down, you can ascend and descend with these, you can also change the rhythm. I'm really just trying to hammer home the idea of hearing this sound and knowing how it resolves and how to actually hear it and implement it into your playing. So now we're going to do the A. We're going to enclose. We're going to do an enclosure on the A. We're going to go up the triad, and then we're going to resolve it to the major one chord. So let's see how we want to do the all right, so right. I'm just doing starting at the on the B, above the A. So I'm going, two notes. I'm doing a chromatic, and then I'm doing a chromatic from below. So I'm sure there's some kind of like terminology for that. It's just like a double note enclosure above to a chromatic enclosure below. I don't even that's a lot of words for what I just did. But I kind of hear these things. You can do all types of enclosures. There's like a whole, I think it's like Charlie Banaka. Not, can't be Banaka. That's like the stuff you spray in your mouth. Anyways, I'm embarrassing myself. Charlie, I'll think of his name. Anyways, if anyone knows his last name, I'll look it up. But he's got like 12 enclosures um, that are pretty standard. Maybe I'll do a video on that, or do it one week here and talk about enclosures. But anyways, so that's another one. Let me play that one more time, because you guys are all thinking about that stuff you spray in your mouth, Banaka. All right. Banacos. Tracy says Banacos. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Banacos. Okay, so not Banaka. Banacos. I hope you're laughing, Tracy. I know I can be. Names. I'm usually really great with names, but whatever. I misremembered that one. So that's off the A, and now we're gonna do it off the C sharp. So this one, I like this approach to a C sharp. Uh, I love that approach. I'm just starting on the D above, and then jumping down to the B. Ba boo boo da. And that's just such a Parker thing to do. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's actually raining pretty hard right now on my house, which is strange for Southern California, but hey, we'll take it. Okay, so let's resolve this one. So that's my enclosure for it, and I'm just using palm D for this. I like the sound of that. I do both. Sergio, what'd you miss? We are working on upper structure triad, augmented triads today. All right. So we're working off of the flat 7, the 9, and the sharp 11. We're on the sharp 11. So I'm going to do an enclosure around the sharp 11, and then play the sharp 11 triad up, and then resolve down, which is just a C sharp augmented triad up, and then resolve it. So here we go. However you want to end it, however you want to resolve. I'm trying to make it very obvious where I'm resolving to, because these upper structures are very difficult to hear. I even sometimes have a hard time hearing them, or I have to really concentrate on where am I resolving to. I'm resolving to C major. I'll show you in a second how easy it is to resolve that to B flat major, because you can play that over an F7 as well, but we're playing it over G7 right now. So let me play that one again. I resolved it differently there. resolved it to the 1 there. Now, if I wanted to resolve that to a B flat, it might sound like this. Uh, so it brings on it's a whole new thing, right? So it's a brand new sound. Uh, you're completely changing keys. Like I just went from yeah, and now I'm going down into a different key center, and you can totally hear that shift. But when you're practicing this stuff, focus on resolving just to one key center, versus trying to resolve it to different key centers. So I told you at the end I would talk about this really cool marriage between these two guys here, the G augmented, F augmented, over a G7. You can do this over other dominants, but we're talking about G7 right now. And you can do this one in particular for sure over any of these notes as dominant. So if you want to do this over B dominant, this will work. It'll work over E flat dominant, G dominant. But remember, those two triads make a whole tone. So we have this triad and this triad. And if I mesh them together, if I take 3 notes and 3 notes, let's do that. This is what I get. Get a whole tone scale. Like I said, it's kind of like I'm sure Barry Harris has done this. I don't know if he's done this specifically. If he has, I'm sure he's done it much better than me. So if it's out there to learn, please learn it from Barry, because he is absolutely the man with this stuff. But when you take these two things, you can actually make these two a triad pair. And I've heard Bill Evans actually use this specific triad pair in, I think it was Stella. I think it's a recording of him playing Stella by Starlight, if I remember correctly. And in the bridge, when he plays over D7, he uses an idea. Where would I use this? I don't know if you typed that while I was talking, Sergio, but I'm literally telling you that right now. So you can use this over 2/5. Like you can use this over G7 if you see a 2/5 in C, you can use this over that. But in Stella, there's 2 bars of D7, excuse me. Buddha da da do we, like that part right there where he goes into the bridge, and and I think it's and that D7, those 2 bars of D7, you can use this over, and this triad pair. So check out what this sounds like. This is a really cool sound. Right, so you got that cool triad pair, and Bill Evans does some cool stuff. I check out that recording of Bill Evans playing Stella by Starlight, because I'm 99% positive it's in that. And he does some really cool stuff and is able to resolve it to, I think it goes to like a C minor. I'm trying to think of Stella. I wasn't planning on going this deep into this, so it didn't quite think through, but and he has it go into the C minor. Yeah, it sounds right. Sounds like Stella Bridge. But anyways, so you can do so and mess around with it. Maybe you go and okay, so what is going on there, right? I'm just mixing and matching those 2 triads. All I'm playing is these 6 notes right here. I'm playing those 6 notes, and that's it. That's all I'm doing. But I'm mixing and matching them. I could go ascending. I can go descending. I can go 1 up, 1 down. Right? I can go down and then up. And the rhythmic options are endless with that. But that sound over a dominant chord is going to create so much tension. and then if you're resolving it properly, if you're resolving it to where it's going, um, then it can release that tension greatly. So if we did something like, all right, uh, all right, I'm resolving to that C. Um, and I'm not playing in time there. I'm just showing you how this sound, this tense, really tense sound can resolve into a major chord or a minor chord, right? It can resolve into minor. That was major. Um, and and so that, how to shed that is exactly what I did, but just much slower. I was rushing through that, and some of it wasn't even that clean. So I should just play it super slow for you guys. Because I'm not really trying to impress you guys. I'm just trying to teach you stuff. so so how to practice that? Yeah. So remember from last week. Really get the augmented triads in your fingers. Play it. All right. Let me think of that. Okay, I can play it from there. Maybe I'll play it from the B. Play it from the E flat. So now I just practice three of them all in one thing. And if I practice from F, from A, from C sharp, now I practiced six of them, right? I'm already halfway done. And play them slow. Really, once you get this sound into your ear, I find that it becomes much easier just to play these things. That the triad pair mixing thing is something I haven't shed in a long time, but I can hear it. It's very present in my mind's ear, and I can pull it out. Um, if I need to explain it or show you all. So this would sound great, and someday my prince will come. Yeah, yeah, it totally would. Actually, someday my prince will come is in B flat, right? So you could use this stuff over it, but I do endeavor you to try it in other keys, so you fully have it down. You play it in, this is A flat, like, right, A flat. So let's do A flat. So that was A flat. So A flat, we get A flat, we get C, and we get E. And then there's another three. Like, I've just played 9 out of the 12 for you in like less than 2 minutes. Um, and when you start mixing and matching these sounds, you start, like I said, you start hearing, and you might not know it at first, but you start hearing these dissonances, or these kind of this tension. And then you'll, once you hear the tension, and you kind of break it down like I did on this board here, you can say, oh, okay, that is, you know that is the sound of the sharp 11, or that is the sound of the 9. We could use A flat augmented over the G7 still. Now you're going to have one note in there that's a little bit, it's just a passing tone. That C is the 11, the natural 11. So that would be a little, I mean, it's not the greatest, but you have the flat 9 and you have the natural 13, which are really, really beautiful um, colors, in my opinion. So, and the 4 isn't terrible. Like, the 11 is not terrible. Like Miles said, there are no wrong notes. Like, there aren't. But it's all about how do you mix that in there. I do like that 11 as like a pivot sound into the third, and I think that sounds really cool. Or a pivot sound into the sharp 11. So now I'm just talking a lot. So that will be it. Unless anybody has any questions, as always, I always appreciate the time. Hey Pierce, thanks for hanging out. Long session tonight. Wow, I didn't expect this. I gotta record some more 2.5s. I wrote a bunch over the past couple days, so I gotta get on it. But more and more people are submitting 2.5s for the shorts thing, and please feel free to submit one. You can DM me on Instagram, or you can email me, whatever's easiest for you. If you want to submit a 2.5, got some really cool ones from Jeff Elwood and Jeff Vidal, and a lot of Jeffs, I guess. Any other Jeffs out there want to send me some 2.5s? Please send them my way. But anyways, I will see you all next week. This is week 16. I can't believe it. I'm stoked to be doing this and keep it consistent. And yeah, let's get up to next week, week 17. We'll see what's in store. All right. You guys all have a good night. Stay safe. Be well. I'll see you next week. Always positive, always progressing. Later.